Well, this next story will make you start humming the police song Message in a Bottle. And I'm sure many of you have wondered what would happen if you put a note in the ocean and let it drift away.
Yeah, you see this stuff in the movies all the time. Well, one of our co-workers here at Fox 9 found a real message in a bottle while on vacation in Florida and then actually tracked down the person who sent it. Maury Glover's here with the story on this one. Maury, it sounds like we haven't heard the end of this tale, huh?
Well, that's right. You know, Russ Wiesman and his wife both work at Fox 9, but they decided to head south for a little rest and relaxation. But their dream vacation took an unusual turn when they went shelling on a beach on Sanibel Island.
I've still got sand in my shoes.
When Russ and Rebecca Wiesman went to Florida, they were looking for 4 days of fun in the sun. But they ended up finding a reminder of a time gone by, washed up on the shores of Sanibel Island.
My wife and I were floored by it. We spent the whole weekend just kind of in awe.
While walking on one of the beaches searching for seashells, something on the edge of the waves caught Russ's eye. When he picked it up, he discovered it was a bottle with a note tucked inside, capped with a cork to keep it afloat in the water.
I thought, oh, this is somebody threw their beer bottle on the beach, and I was just going to pick it up and throw it away. And then I picked it up, and there's a cork in it, and there's a message, and I'm like, really?
It turns out the message in the bottle belonged to Brittany Wood of Long Island, New York, who'd gotten it as a souvenir from a trip her mother and sister had recently taken to Georgia.
I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle, yeah.
When Russ called the number in her note, Brittany told him she'd thrown the bottle from a pier near her home early last month, and it had traveled nearly 2,000 miles down the eastern seaboard, around the tip of Florida, and into the Gulf of Mexico, all in about 3 weeks.
That was crazy, especially when he said Florida. I was surprised. When he said it was on the west side, I really couldn't believe it.
After talking to Brittany on the phone, Russ decided the best thing to do was to throw the bottle back into the water. So he threw it back into the Gulf of Mexico to see where it ends up this time.
Just, you know, we're not littering this. I found a message in a bottle on the beach.
Now that Brittany's bottle is back in the water, both she and Russ are anxious to see where it'll end up.
Message in a bottle.
Russ gave up his most valuable souvenir, but it helped make some memories that will last a lifetime.
We need to buy a lottery ticket because this is just, you know, who gets this lot?
Not many people. Now, Russ says he thought Brittany was a grade schooler who created her message in a bottle for a class project. But as you saw in the story, she's a 20-year-old college student who's home for the summer, and she just threw it out there for fun and definitely surprised by all the attention her souvenir is getting. Guys, back to you.
Well, I hope we get to update this story someday.
Wouldn't that be great?
With the next
Love
chapter.
to hear back from her.
think
It's amazing that it made it all the way around Florida, too.
In 3 weeks, they're hoping this
That's
time it'll be
fast.
somewhere, you know, down in South America or Cozumel or something like that. So they'll have another person to add to their little chain bottle, message in a bottle.
Yeah, and they can go travel to pick it up maybe if it's in a nice place
Well,
like
of
that.
course.